It's the Missin Curfew. Dogs of the week, boys. And it's all 6 of these fucking guys. Hagel, Bennett, Parenko, Matty and Brady, and JT Miller. You are the Missin Curfew dogs of the week. The anthem was unbelievable. The atmosphere was unbelievable. Jay Swish, we'll start with you because you noticed a little tip of something before the fucking puck dropped. You said they're going to go. These guys, all 6 of them should be commended. ESPN, I turned on this morning. It's PK Subban talking about the greatest fights of all time. It's Ty Domi and Rob Ray. Good for these guys. They made this tournament even bigger than I could imagine. But Swishy, we'll start with you because you looked down the boys at the Bell Center and said, they're going. They're going, boys. What did you see from your seat, kid? You just saw the Chucky shaking the mitts or what?
Yeah, well, I had my microdose vision going in, so I was really tapped in and tuned into the game. Saw it right at...
You're welcome.
Right. Yes, thank you, fella. Appreciate that. That was nice. You got me dialed in. But I was looking right at center ice where we were sitting. I seen Chucky and Hagel having a conversation. And then there was a delay on the puck drop, and I saw Hagel kind of back off and Chucky slide back a little bit. I looked at you boys sitting 2 seats over. I go, hey, they're going right now. You're like, fuck off. No, they're not. I go, no, seriously, I think they're going to go. And sure as shit, puck drop, sticks down, gloves off.
Challenge the Chiefs.
And they went. That was, boys, we'll get into the game, obviously, a little bit through these fights, but that was the coolest start of a hockey game I have ever seen. Played in or watched. 3 fights in 9 seconds. I mean, I thought the roof was going to blow off after that.
The fucking Bell Center was shaking, boys. It was.
She was that loud, eh?
Richie, it was shaking. What about for a guy like you who was watching it on TV? You still, everybody I talked to texted me after that watched it, where they could still tell how much of a shit show it was or how electric the rink was. Sorry.
No, you could tell, but you're not. You know it was loud, but it doesn't do it justice. And that was the only time I was like, "Fuck, I'm kind of jealous. This is amazing." I was pumped up. I can't imagine the energy in that building.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So the anthem goes, the fights go. I started crying. I look over, Uppy's crying. I'm crying. I'm high-fiving PJ. The last 2 hockey games I've been to with Uppy, the Stanley Cup Final Game 7, we cried when the cup got put out. And we cried when that. I was just emotionally after the anthem and then that and the 3 fights and all the Canadian people. I was like, I couldn't handle it. This is unbelievable.
I just think for that little moment of time, I felt so proud of the guys who were on the ice and participating in this game for what they were doing for their sport, which we all love and which has given us this opportunity to fucking do this and spend our lives the way we have, to their countries, to all the fans. I felt like I was just like, I'm so happy I was at the game with you, and I'm so happy we were at the game with like our buddies, and I was just looking around, I'm like, fuck. All I could think about is like moments as a kid where you're playing in a game and you know that hockey's the coolest fucking sport in the world. And that they proved it right there in 10 seconds. Just from the anthem, like you said, it was so emotional. Fucking Montreal was there. They were fired up. I knew that rink was the right place to have this game Saturday night with not another fucking sporting event going on in North America. And they lived up and they made the game fucking proud. It was incredible. I fucking still, when I think of that energy and like the music going on after it and like the way that these guys were fucking feeling, I just was like, man, oh my God, I wish I was out there. Like it was the most insane feeling.
Yeah, sometimes I didn't like fighting, but at that particular moment, if I would have been out there, I would have started chucking and ducking too, because there's no better time to fight than that. I've never represented my country, but at that stage and listen, we've been pumping this game up the whole year. Yeah. And, Swish, you asked Big Walt if it was going to get 96 out there, and Big Walt said, I don't think it's going to get that far. So we obviously, either he was holding his hand or Matty and Brady didn't tell him that they were going to go out there and turn it into a goddamn free-for-all. But I thought the game was going to be high intense, lots of checking, good hockey game. But Swishy, I did not see 3 fights in 9 seconds. Or I didn't even see a fight, to be honest. I didn't think we were going to see a fight.
Yeah, and just going back to the anthem before that, you had George St. Pierre step on the ice. It just kind of set the mood for a Royal Rumble, of a match. And then just in the game, boys, like McAvoy, the bodies he was throwing, not only tossing Crosby down low in the trapezoid, and then McDavid, he caught him up twice high, like in along the boards. The game had everything. Obviously, the Tkachuks did what they did, but it was physical. It was Smashmouth hockey. It was just one of those days where you're like so proud to just be a hockey fan. I don't know. It was, I think it's, for me, I think it's the greatest game I've ever seen. I'm not lying.
Yeah. No, before that game, I would have said the 2010 Canada versus Russia in Vancouver.
Yeah, for sure.
But that one was better. That one was way better. Just because of the 3 fights in 9 seconds. And then the pace of the game was fucking Their boys were flying.
And I just want to tag, because you talked about the 3 fights, but Colton Parayko being the third one with Miller, and you seen Miller off the draw, like go to him. It was right in front of Canada's bench. And I know Parayko deep down. Like he's a fucking big, like friendly giant who, from what I'm told now through our old agent Jerry, he got in a scrap when he was young. Fort McMurray Oil Barons, where I played and where I grew up. And he really fucking hurt the guy. And Parayko started playing hockey at an older age. And I think that fight probably set him on a path. He doesn't want to fucking hurt many people. Well, when this went down and the play came down to the net, and I knew Miller still wanted him, and he stepped up. And I just think right then and there, he proved, like, when the time comes, I'm going to step up. I don't care who it is. I'm going to fucking tune you in. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
And that actually set the tone back in Canada's favor. Like, Brady Tkachuk went out and had a great scrap against Bennett, but he got the best of Bennett. There's no question about it. And he acted like it, came to the bench, high-fiving his brother. They were mic'd up, which was super cool.
Yeah.
But then Parayko doing what he did, man, really brought Canada back to, like, that momentum. And then fucking McDavid did what he did. But it just made me feel like, hey, Parayko, you do that once in a while to prove, like, no one can fuck around with guys on your team. You're not only going to get paid a whole lot more money, but you're going to be that legend for Canada, man. Like, it was a big play for him to step up and do.
Yeah, I've always said if Parayko could add that to his game, now he's not Shea Weber, but he's closer to Shea Weber. You know what I mean, Rich? He's closer to Weber.
Has he ever fought in the NHL?
He has, but you can see it. He doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I think now he understands, like, wow, fighting is, like, it's a big part of this game.
Yeah.
Those 3 fights were a big part of that hockey game.
Get you laid too. I don't know if he's single or not, but it'll get you laid too.
No, he's got a girl, I think so. But geez, no, I mean, listen, boys, I wasn't a big fighter. Richie, you weren't a big fighter, but you did when you had 2 Obes. You were. That was right then and there. I think any hockey player would have fucking started chucking and ducking. It didn't matter what.
Right?
Yeah, and I want to give JT Miller credit,
right.
Richie.
Oh yeah,
listen, Millsy was in there, and Parayko had him like stretched out. And for anyone that's been in that, you don't have to have 100 fights or one fighter. When you have that feeling of a bigger man stretching you out, your reaction is to just, usually for me, was to pull or get close. Millsy was he was throwing like donkey punches this way. I'm like, at least he's like, I give JT trying. He went up in my books even more, man.
Time.
Yeah. I agree with you. That was big of him. I mean, he's got the size advantage, and Millsy is not really a fighter. He'll fight when like we just said, when he has to, but he's not known. He's a skill guy. He's a power forward, skill, power play points. But when he has to do it, he'll do it, and he's he'll do it to anyone. So that was cool too.
He punched his own bucket off, boys. Did you see that?
Yeah, he did. He
Almost caught his own chin.
Oh yeah,
he did.
No, he got it with like his bicep. He got it like he missed the fist, and the bicep popped it up.
Yeah, it's easy, Millsy. Take it easy on yourself.
It's okay, man.
Fight anybody, even himself.
Yeah, it was great. And first, we can't talk about this without, I mean, I'm sure other people have talked about it. Tom Wilson was a guy that I think everybody on this podcast wanted on that team. I know the coaching staff was fighting hard for him to be on that hockey club. Listen, it's hard to make Team Canada, but I just thought that game right there, I still think the Tkachuk boys come out and do what they do. I still think Matty fights Hagel, but then Brady has to fight Tom, and Brady probably would have fought him, but it's just like, I give Sam Bennett a lot of credit. Brady Tkachuk right now, I looked over at Uppy in the second period, Rich, and I said, Uppy, this Brady Tkachuk is a fucking problem out here. Like, he is running guys through it. Like, he almost hit Doughty to Quebec City. Like, fucking Doughty's skate was up there. Like, his game right now, Rich, and Swish, you can tag this too, like, that kid's a problem.
Yeah. Well, just watching it, I wasn't live, obviously, but just he played really good. He played great in before he got injured in that last game or left the game, whatever it was. But he is a big problem. And I agree with you, Tom Wilson, that's a different fight. Sam Bennett's a really tough kid, but that's a different level of toughness. And it still happens, but I mean, Tom Wilson probably.
Do you guys think if Tom Wilson's on that team, McAvoy's running around and hitting 97 like that?
Probably not.
Right?
Tough to say.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
I'll tell you what,
No way.
Right?
You can see it in the building, Richie, when that happened. It was like, whoa.
I said when they picked the 6 teams about Charlie McAvoy, I'm like, the only reason on this team is because Sully is his father-in-law. He's married to Mike Sullivan's daughter. So I was like, that's why Sully took him, right? Family ties. Fucking being a good guy. This kid proved me wrong in this tournament. He's played unbelievable. He's played unbelievable. And that hit on McDavid, I've never seen McDavid even get hit, let alone like heads up.
Hit.
There was one guy in the frame after if you see the highlight online, there's one guy in the frame for Canada that skates away after it, and it's Devon Toews. And I know he's not a fighter, but when that hit happened, that building went, oh. And then the fucking play happened, and they go down and they fucking score 1-1.
Yeah.
That play is a huge play in the game where if that goes down, at least you go in and you fucking cause a little commotion. You go in and you don't need to take a 5-minute cross-check penalty, but you go in and you let them know, like, you don't
bleed all over him. Let him know you're there.
And I just want to tag fellas Brady Tkachuk for a second, who I think has just been obviously a super standout player, and you love this kid.
Yeah.
And I just think the NHL right now is, and love Greener, love Ottawa, love Chippewa Street, but they're wasting time with Brady Tkachuk as the captain of the Ottawa Senators. They need to find a way to get him into the U.S. in a big market, playing on a fucking epic team, whether it's Chicago or New York, because he's going to wear that C for an American team. And I think the NHL can really market around that. But this kid up in Ottawa, like, especially now.
Yeah.
Especially now.
You saw in the interview where he deflected the question right to Matty, when they asked about people booing the anthem and stuff like that. He's like, hey, he
I know he's prideful, and where's that C with pride for Ottawa? But
Yeah, Uppy, well, my question is to you, though. If Ottawa makes the playoffs this year, which they're in a playoff spot right now, does that change it for you or no?
I just, let's call it not this year, but what has happened where he is a prideful American kid, and this tournament is awesome for so many reasons, but what he's proven is he's a very gifted, passionate, strong American-born kid that I just think should wear the C for an American team. I look at it, and I think that. Connor McDavid, C for Edmonton. Crosby's our, captain, but he's in Pittsburgh his whole career, and he's won cups. I don't want to see, if he makes the playoffs, great, because he's never played in a playoff game. So I just think it's a big year for it.
You're just saying, like, imagine Brady Tkachuk was the captain of the New York Rangers, right?
Would be so great for hockey in the NHL.
Good for the game.
Good for the game.
Yeah.
Not good for my boy Greener.
No,
Will not be good for Ottawa.
And not good for
not good for Ottawa, but he is a problem, as Mr. O'Brien said.
He's fucking Brady Tkachuk.
Deal for guys like that.
No.
Find him.
No, when you said that to Messier too, he goes, he is a fucking problem.
Mess he is a fucking problem.
He looked at you and he's like, he is actually a big fucking problem.
And you actually teed me up. Mess came in that what was it called? Skylife, and Still Life. I'm like, Mess, whatever. How fucking great was that? Fucking. He's like, you don't go undermanned to war, though. You don't go fucking undermanned to war. Like, the fact that they did that to Sam Bennett and he had to fucking step up and fight that. I love Sam Bennett, but you do not go to war undermanned. Like, that's why Tom Wilson had to be on this team. He's got 24 fucking goals too, but like, you can't, with Brady and Matty, and you knew that, the way they play and what they do, you can't give them the upper hand. Not saying they wouldn't have done it with Tom. I still think they would have, but it would have been different, and our team would have been different, and it's just, to me, it would have been a lot different.
It's funny you say that, because I know Army, and he's been on Hockey Canada forever, and he's an incredible GM. But St. Louis Blues, they've always been tough.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been a tough team, from Hitch
Yeah.
to their days. Like Richie playing them in the playoffs when you're in LA. They're always big, and they want to bring physicality. Yeah, so I'm shocked that wasn't part of the.
I'm not sure if it was Army. I don't know who the final call was. I know a lot of people. There was a lot of discussion over Tom,
for sure.
Like, everyone knew that. Like, that wasn't a secret in the country.
Well, you think about this too. Like, no offense to the Seth Jarvis kid. He's an excellent player. I love this kid, but maybe that could have been. That was probably what it came down to. Maybe they want to get a young kid in there, but he's not a heavy guy. He's a skilled guy, smart player. But I agree with you guys. You can't. They need a little bit more heaviness in that game, and they will in the next game too.
Yeah, and Swish, we've been big fans of USA Hockey since we started this podcast. Obviously we lost our boy Jimmy Hayes, but the Tkachuks have been great. Kevin Hayes has been great. Kells has been great. Schmaltz have been great. Like, where USA Hockey's come, Swishy, and a lot of it has to do because of Matty and Brady Tkachuk, of the guys they are off the ice, the way they play on the ice. They have put USA Hockey back on the map it's a good, skilled nation, but we can fuck around too. You want to fight, we'll fight. And these kids single-handedly did this for USA Hockey. Now it is like, next time there's a Canada Cup or Olympics, Team Canada will not come undermanned with toughness because of Matty and Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, fuck around and find out. I just think this is back to an era like we talked about with Big Walt last week where USA Hockey is in a good spot. I think it was a little bit of a lull there, and now you insert these Tkachuks. You have a lot of these good players that are in and around the same age group of the 96, 97, 98, 99 birth years, and it's fun to watch, man. And I just think even a guy like Charlie McAvoy, we talked about him a little bit, but like that guy, when he gets squirrely, even talking with Shaddy a little bit on Friday night when we got in, or Thursday night, he's like, this McAvoy, don't underestimate him, because when he gets squirrely, he starts seeing red. So that's another guy that can bring a physical component on the back end. And yeah, Obes, and even go to their goaltending, how good it is there. It's just USA Hockey is in a really good spot, and even our boy Jack Eichel, man, like just that play he made against Canada, taking it through the neutral zone, making that little slit play over to Gensel, long pencil Gensel, I call him. Jack Eichel, he can skate like the wind, man. It's crazy.
Long pencil Gensel, huh?
He's been excellent. Eichel's been excellent.
Eichel's been, we're going to get these guys a beer. McKinnon and Crosby played, McDavid and McKinnon played great against the Finns, but like, I think Jack Eichel all around has been the best player in the tournament. For me, like he seems to have the puck all the time. He had a back check the other night against the Swedes where he came from literally inside.
He's been an unbelievable back check last game.
Yeah, like we talk about Barkov, like you got to start talking Richie Eichel for Selke. Like this guy's 200-foot game is as good as anybody's.
I agree with you, buddy. You couldn't have said that better. He's an all around player now.
Yeah.
Really impressive.
So, boys, good on you, all those guys. The only thing we were missing was Bruce Buffer to come out and say, it's time. That would have been...
Well, Jay Shrews Thursday night. No, we got... Who knows what they bring out Thursday?
Yeah. Fucking...
I mean, who do you think throwing it out there?
Buddy.
But who,
the Trumper's coming.
Be there.
Who do you think... We had JSP, but who does Canada bring out on the road to introduce the boys?
Sean Thornton in Boston? Let's get Thornton in there.
Thornton in Boston. He wouldn't do that for Canada there.
Maybe not. He's a good Oshawa boy. Good Oshawa.
Seabass, maybe.
Where's Sam Neely at? Hey? If that's Seabass and the fellas over there, then,
I mean, Boston Garden Boys this Thursday night is going to be rocking.
And if you're Gary Bettman, and listen, Bettman's coming to an end here, but if you're the next commissioner, like remember what this did here for fighting in hockey, right? Like I know fighting's never going to be what it was, but like anyone that says we're going to take fighting out of hockey, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like they're an idiot. That was the greatest thing ever. The most skilled guys on the planet chucking them. So
even winning that game in Montreal, as cool as it was, as moving of a game that was for the USA, I said it after the game. It's going to be hard to beat these guys twice, and especially with the banged-up roster. Now, Austin Matthews, is he going to play? He was either battling some upper body injury or a sickness, one of the two, and McAvoy coming out of the lineup. Now, listen, you insert Quinn Hughes in that back end, which I do think he's going to play on Thursday. We got a chance, and we do have the best goalie in the tournament in Connor Hellebuck. So we'll see, Opes, if that it's going to come down to the defense. I think it's going to come down to that pairing of Slavin and Faber. If they can eliminate the speed like they did from the Canadian attack, especially with the big guns, with McKinnon and obviously McDavid, I think we got a real chance. Ikes, I love how he's playing, but we're going to need a little more from guys like Jack Hughes. I think there's some other guys, especially Austin Matthews. We're going to need him to step up. It's going to be a tight match, fella. I do obviously believe in my squad, but Canada, they got a lot of momentum right now. They got good juju. If Binner can kick back there, those big dogs are going to be firing. They're going to be ready to go. And fuck, it's tough to bet against 87, especially just the way he played last game. Just a fucking gamer.
He is a gamer. I wanted to say one thing about, well, first of all, Faber. I mean, I love Billy Guerin, and Billy Guerin took a little bit of heat for putting Faber on the hockey club. This kid's a player. This kid is an absolute player. He deserves a big contract. Just good in those little areas, Rich. He makes a good little plays, makes a little bump to the middle, a little D to D, and then offensively, he can do all that stuff in the offensive zone, walk the line, this and that. He's pretty strong kid, too.
Oh, he's impressive. He's a really impressive young player. I think they're going to be set for a long time with him. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good players. That back end for the U.S. has been really good. For my bet, though, I got to stick with Canada. I don't think they're going to lose twice to the same team. I don't know it could go either way. They're either both great teams, and we have friends on both teams, but you always got to stick with your home country. I just don't see McDavid and McKinnon and Crosby just losing this game. I bet them. I'm always sticking with them. I think Drew Doughty's going to have a big game. I like him in that Sanheim playing together, kind of a defensive shutdown. I like them. I think they're going to have a big game. I think McCarr's going to have a big game. And then the biggest question mark is the goaltending. I think Bennington has been okay. And they're playing against the best goaltender in the world. So it's going to be a great game. Do you guys think there'll be any fights again?
No, I don't think so.
What's your I don't think so.
Like, that was like, if you compare it, like, you would know, Rich, you played in the Stanley Cup final, but like, I feel like that was like game 1, right? To get everyone fight. Now there's all the way fast forward to game 7. It's like, if I was in a game 7, I wouldn't want to fight in that game on Thursday.
No,
I would have wanted to fight on Saturday.
And I think you want to be on the ice.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss any time in that game, right?
Yeah. I will say that the one thing the fight did do, and Matty's a little dinged up, but I thought it took his flow out of the game early. And I the same for Brady, but Brady in the second found his legs. But I thought Matty, the one thing to fight, and if you ever get into a fight, you have all that energy, momentum, and then kind of. So what to get your point, Rich? I don't want any Tkachuks in the penalty box for the final. I want those boys 100%. Out there. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see a good, hard, competitive hitting game, fast game, right? Like not.
Yeah.
Even if it happens, it happens. But I don't think it will.
Yeah, and I wanted to give some love to Swishy's boy, AM34 there, Matthews. He's been playing banged up all year in Toronto. Like, he's clearly not all right. Like, he hasn't scored. If you go back 4 Nations to NHL, he hasn't scored like 8 games. He's playing with something that's lingering him offensively. But his 200-foot game, I'm not going to say he's as good as Jack Eichel, but his 200-foot game is solid, up dog. It's really solid.
Yeah, that's kind of how he's had to round out his game. You can't just be one-dimensional. You look at the likes of Eichel, the way he's changed his game, McDavid, Crosby throughout his career. And I think Austin Matthews just understands in order for the Toronto Maple Leafs to get to where they need to be, he's got to be that guy, leading by example, because, Marner is.
I just fucking wrote his name down.
And you just look at the Toronto Maple Leaf players in this tournament. Nylander, I don't think he quite had the tournament he wanted to. I don't think Marner definitely isn't. And Matthews probably playing banged up, but those 3 guys probably could have had a little more.
Yeah, I would have
scratched to give.
I would have scratched Marner against Finland.
Yeah,
I would have taken him right out of the fucking lineup, and I would have kept Jarvis in there with Konechny. Whatever. Coop didn't do it, but you got to give Coop credit for finally shuffling the deck and taking Reinhart and Marner off of McDavid's line and putting Braden Point up there.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it. Point's always all around it.
He is.
I thought that was a great job by John Cooper, Talks and the boys. And then you put Reinhart with McKinnon and Crosby. Reinhart had his best game of the tournament. But Mitch Marner, I mean, I was going to put him on the milk carton, but I didn't even want to waste my time doing it because I've done it so many times. But, like, he's just not a big game player, man. I'm not saying he's not trying, but his game just doesn't, like you compare him to Point. It's just like, it's not even comparable, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. That's 2 different players.
I just hope Brad Treeland is watching this tournament, Richie, before he backs up the Brinks truck for Mitchie Marner and says, here's fucking 8 for whatever, 13 a year, whatever the fuck he wants, probably.
Right? I mean, you know what I think, but I mean, he did score a big goal, but
I was that drunk guy in the thank God he scored that big one. I was the drunk guy in the crowd yelling. I was all over him. I was like, Marner, like, soft, like, turn it on. Like, if you could track his game of his turns, he looked like us walking around old Montreal trying to find a club, eh? What the fuck is it?
They're scared for this.
I thought, how do we get in this joint? How do we get in this joint? But I'm taking Canada. I also took Canada in Montreal, but I don't think you're going to beat us twice. Listen, the 4 Nations has been unbelievable. There's hardly anything bad to say about it. However, I am going to put the NHL on the milk carton for the roster rule here. Like, I just think I don't know what they were trying to do. They were probably trying to do the right thing here, but I just think it's been a bit of a shit show with the whole McCarr thing and bringing in the Harley kid. And he couldn't practice. He had to wait for McCarr to go off. So if we do this in the future, maybe don't have rules on the roster or make them a little bit different or learn from this, because to me, Updog, this is the only kind of blunder. Like, Quinn Hughes is on a bird to Boston, and before we got on, Jay Swish said he wasn't sure if he's allowed to play unless somebody else gets hurt. Like, just seems like a little bit of a Mickey Mouse thing to me.
Yeah, if I could first touch that, I think, you bring in, okay, say it's Tom Wilson or it's Quinn Hughes. Of course you're going to welcome these guys.
Let's get Willie in there.
No, but of course you're going to welcome them into the room, but, like, to switch them up, they haven't played in a week. They haven't been around the guys. The guys have gelled and meshed. And, like, it'd be just, to me, it'd be just tricky to kind of insert someone like that into the group immediately. Now, Quinn Hughes, like you said, he was named originally to the 6 top players. He is the reigning Norris Trophy champion. He's incredibly gifted, and his brother's playing on the team. It'd be great to have him. And I if it's best on best, it should be fucking bring your best fucking American player. I'll bring our best.
The thing that's scary about Hughes jumping in the lineup here is I think he's probably stayed back in Vancouver rehabbing and skating, and he probably feels pretty fresh right now, right? Like,
yeah,
if you could get Quinn Hughes for a 1 game healthy, drop him in here. Like you just said, how high
Little
intensity.
Toradol game.
Yeah. How high intensity these games have been.
Yeah.
Maybe you put Quinn Hughes in fresh. I mean, that's a huge advantage, is it not, Swishy?
Well, how funny is it, too, boys? Like, Harley comes into Montreal, doesn't skate, can't even practice because Makar is on the ice. Makar leaves the ice. Harley comes on for practice. Makar doesn't play. Harley plays. Now, Harley is now allowed to play the rest of the tournament. He didn't play over Sanheim against Finland, but technically Harley could play Thursday night. So this whole thing's been a shit show.
See, I didn't think he was allowed to play because Makar came back, but he's still allowed. He could scratch Sanheim and put him in.
So now he's back in, even though Makar is healthy. So it's
wow.
These rules are so vague. There's so much in between.
Yeah, learn the rules, O'Brien, before you fucking put him on the milk carton.
Well, then I would argue if that's the sorry, Richie. One quick one. I would argue if the chin over there in Scottsdale is saying that.
That's a nice lid.
If we're allowed to put Harley in over Sanheim,
yes,
and Makar's back,
you are.
that fucking Quinn Hughes is allowed to come and play. That is how that's. You know, because he was named originally, but he was hurt, pulled out. So this is kind of the exact same thing. It's like 1 for 1. Let's go.
Swishy, you think they're putting him in, Harley?
Well, no, I'm saying they have the option to do it.
Okay.
So before, he couldn't even practice because Makar was on the ice.
Okay.
Makar doesn't play. Harley steps in.
Yeah,
Harley playing that game is now allowed to play, even though their entire blue line minus Theodore is healthy.
Yeah, that was the look that I thought. By the way, Theodore's a huge loss for us too, but that was the look that I thought was Mickey Mouse. Harley's like literally waiting in the practice behind the bench for Makar to come off, and he goes off and he comes on. I'm like, just let them both be out there practicing at the same time. Like it's just, you know what I'm saying, Richie?
Well, just next time, I think they'll probably add, an extra D-man or two and an extra forward or two, because just have them there around the guys. Even if they're not playing, it's still fun. It's still fun to be on practice, playing, being around the guys, having some beers in the lounge, the team lounge. I don't know. It was Mickey Mouse, but I don't know. Just get some more guys in there.
That's a good locker room guy. Come on in, boys. Hey, is that a lounge? Is that a beer? Hey, get a heat pack. Well, let's know who's going here. Get a coffee in you. Yeah, I'm with you. And especially if you want young guys around the team. Like when Sanheim made the team, people were like, he's around the team for next year's Olympics. Okay, we'll bring 9D then, or 8D. Like, don't just bring 7D.
There's always an injury. We always know there are 2 injuries per tournament.
Fuck, Theodore goes down. Now this kid's writing the shit on a Saturday night at the Bell Center. I'm like...
It hasn't been skating.
Yeah.
I thought I made a tip my cap here, but I thought I made a great point to you guys on the plane yesterday, was that this tournament, being an all-star break, they should have brought in a full extra line. So say there's 14 or 15 forwards, okay? And that there's 8D. And that everyone has to play one game, because ultimately it's like, why not? Like, right? So why not? So then there's never an issue if a guy gets hurt, but it gives everyone a chance to play for their country, and you're just sliding in. Like, you got 3 games. These guys are supposed to be on fucking all-star break anyway because they're playing in the NHL, but 3 games. That way there's no discrepancy to flying a guy in from vacation, and everyone gets one chance to play in one game.
It's such a short tournament, though, that
you got 3 games. So 3 games, fucking make sure everyone plays.
But you lose, you're out, basically. So,
no, we'll figure it out. Fucking in the first game, 1 and 2, have an extra line that's going to be inserted. Like the 4th line or whoever it is, just that it's got to be strategy. But
anyway, what do you think of that?
It's tough for the coaches, though, because they want the best players in every game.
That's going to be tough for the coaches.
Yeah, but
you have to put in
Canada can make 2 fucking teams, by the way. I'm not saying take out McDavid, but you can take out McDavid. You don't need to,
2 teams. We almost didn't make the championship game.
Oh, but what I'm saying is, like, you're not taking out McDavid in them. You're taking out a fucking inserted 4th line, or,
I would say this: the days of Canada being a complete, these games have been close, man. Like, we are no longer we could field 2 teams. Our second team would get smoked in this tournament by the States.
Give us Draisaitl and we'll kick everyone's ass. Can Draisaitl get a passport?
If I was McDavid, I would say, hey, you should be signing up for a Canadian passport here now. You got a 10-year ticket. Hey, Rich, make sure you get a Canadian passport next time you can play.
Anyone can get one anyway, can't they?
Yeah.
In Canada?
They even checked the customs when I went in there. I just walked in. I said, where's Trudeau? I want to talk to him. Get out of my way.
No security. Fucking we're chirping him.
I mean, yeah.
Draisaitl. What Uppy is saying, boys. I mean, maybe even you could dress 13 forwards and 7D. Now, that sucks for the guys playing, obviously, because you get out of sync. But I don't know. It just, it's kind of just funny how you're just supposed to get a call from Cabo, and all of a sudden you're on a bird in 2 days.
Yeah, that's
your ear hurts to put on it.
Yeah, but that's why if you practice, though, you're just there practicing as the extra line or the extra couple D. You're getting your reps in. You're not playing, but you're getting your touches. You're not
touches, eh, Rich? Richie, though. You like getting your touches, eh, Rich? Like touches.
Just make it so they got to play one game. Hey, you don't want to be there fucking all week, just fucking with your,
I would have been in Montreal all week fine, not playing. I would have been just okay with it. I would have been just okay. If you need me, boys, I'm right here. If you fucking need me.
Yeah, but you don't want to be that guy either. They're just mixing it every night, showing up pinned in the morning.
Pinned. I mean, I would have showed out a little fucker. Hey, here's a fucker. Get a coffee here, boys. Yeah. Hey,
but
Rich, you'll be in the lobby, grab a coffee for you over the Bell Center. All right.
Skip breakfast.
You still want to treat it. You still want to treat it fucking like you got a chance to fucking play.
Listen, I was had a decent NHL career. I couldn't imagine being on that team right now and playing. I can't imagine. I mean, I would have taken a penalty right away. First of all, Brian Hook, back, kill this one off, boys, and my night would have been over. So if Quinn Hughes can play, can John Cooper call up Petro and be like, "Hey, Team Canada, Trudeau's sending his bird for you. Jump on it, and you're playing fucking Thursday night Swish. Could we go tick for tat with you then and say, okay, we raise you Petro if you're bringing in Hughes?
If OJ can get away with murder, why can't Sonny have his kid? Yeah, man, I think so. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Big Daddy, what a prick.
It's the entertainment business, Obi. The more eyes we can get on this event, on this game, there's so much steam around hockey right now. You have people talking about hockey that don't even know the sport. I say do it, man. Why not? Who cares? At this point, let's get Tommy Wilson in there. Everyone should get one call-up going into Thursday night. How about that?
Yeah. Listen, Tom Wilson's ready to rock. He's been on the beach with his beautiful wife, and I don't know if he had a boy or girl, but he just had a newborn kid. So I'm sure he's getting his workouts in. He's probably ready to rock. Like, I don't think the people use the break quite like we use the break. You know what I mean? Like, I get you. When I went on a break, you wouldn't have want to called me up for anything. But I think these guys nowadays, hey, Rich, are getting the reps in, as you would say, and are probably – more prepared than I would have been for sure.
I would hope so. Certainly hope so.
Well, listen, I don't know if you got Petro's number, but send it to Coop. I would fucking be calling Petro and being like, "How you feeling? You want to slide in?"